welcome to our working lunch. We'll have everyone enjoy their lunch, and during that time, our generous sponsors will have your attention. They'll give brief presentations, which will lead into the demo session. So the first of our sponsors is Craig Sandman from Hilltip. So welcome, Craig, and it's right up here. You got it.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Craig Sandman. I am the Managing Director of Hilltip Corporation here in North America. Quick word about Hilltip. We are a leading European manufacturer of snow and ice control equipment. Currently export to 45 countries worldwide, have a subsidiary in Germany and here in the United States. Here in the next 30 or so days, we will be moving into a brand new 100,000 square foot facility in New Haven, Indiana, for the purposes of building our equipment. Today it's my intention to just kind of give you a brief overview of who we are and what we do, with a little emphasis on some machines that would have the most impact on the mission that we're trying to achieve in salt mitigation. So. There we go. So what you're looking at here is a couple of representative photos of what we call our combination spreaders. These effectively are the backbone of what we do as a company. So the combination spreaders are going to be machines capable of both bulk and liquid application simultaneously. We offer these machines in different sizes from 1.2 cubic yards up to 8 cubic yards. In both chain and auger configurations. Our machines feature some very quality components. Everything is stainless steel. The augers, the chains, bolts, bearings, bushings, clips, and pins. Everything is Deutsch connected. We offer these also in 12 and 24 volt combinations. All of our units come standard with our Strike Smart controller, and I'll touch on that here in a few slides downrange. You can build these machines out to achieve anything you need to do with them. Things like stop-turn tail lights, strobe lights, work lights, accessory bladders that you can actually put into the bulk section of these hoppers that would make them into 500 to 600 gallon sprayers that you can use all season long. So you have, with our product line, you have the ability to amortize your investment over 12 months versus just the winter months. Things like end of material alarms, asymmetry adjusters, which better distribute the salt where you need it. As far as your spreading picture is concerned, leg stands for storage and tarps. So all of our options are retrofittable to our machines at any time. So as your business or needs in your township change, you can easily adapt your equipment to those needs. Some of the other equipment that has an impact, at least in mitigation strategies, are going to be electric sprayers. What you see here are some representative photos of our line of high flow electric sprayers. These units are available in sizes here in North America from 500 gallons to 3,250 gallons. These are all electric. You can buy them in 12 volt or 24 volt configurations. That's going to translate to efficiencies of 20 gallons a minute on the 12 volt stuff up to about 40 gallons on the 24 volt sides of things. What makes our equipment unique, we feature high efficiency rotary pumps, so your fluid is on demand with no wasted energy sending that back to tank. Again, our high flow electric sprayers do come with our Strike Smart controllers. We'll touch on those here in just a moment. Along with that system is the H-Track as well, which is our two-way tracking and control. You can, again, build these out like you would our combination spreaders and combinations of adjustable spray bars, 90-inch, 100-inch. You can make these units 2- and 3-lane capable, leg stands, lights, the whole package, whatever your business it needs. So getting to the core of who we really are as a company, yes, we build snow and ice control equipment, but predominantly we are a technology company, as evidenced by our Hilltip Strike Smart controllers. So as you can see in this photo in the lower left-hand side is our standard Strike Smart controller. What's unique about this unit is it tells the operator exactly how much material is being applied, how far you're applying it, all optional interface. Anything that the spreaders or sprayers have as options can be controlled from this screen. Automatic mode is ground speed control, so the machine starts and stops when the operator starts and stops the vehicle, reducing salt waste. They are self-diagnostic, so they will tell you what's wrong with them and where to go to fix the problem. They'll also remind you what it is you're applying, the time and the speed at which you're doing so. This device actually also has dialogue with our H-Track two-way tracking and control. So all of the information being recorded by the spreader or sprayer then is sent to our H-Track portal via this system. The one on the right-hand side is an upgrade to the system. That's our Strike Smart Plus control interface. It's all touchscreen. What this system allows you to do is it gives you a real-time weather forecast. And in addition, if you run it with what we call our Temp Striker sensor, it gives you environmental data as well, the air temperature, dew point, road temperature. And what's unique about this is the system takes the forecast with the environmental metrics and compares that to your historical spreading data, and then it will give you the recommended optimal application rate for whatever storm you face in real time. Additional options on that one, being that it's app-based, are things like navigation and traffic. So not only will the system automatically optimize your route, but let's say an operator runs into an accident, he can push the traffic or the H-Track button on this and it'll give him directions around the optimal route around that traffic or delay. So we got our systems, we got our controllers talking to each other, and where it all goes is H-Track. And this really is the crown jewel of the Hilltip line. This is a two-way tracking and control system. So all of the data being gathered by that controller is sent to a portal. You can log on to this portal from any device anywhere in the world. You can see your equipment in real time and know exactly what it's doing, where it's doing it. We can take work sites, roads, sidewalks. We can geofence those sites and apply a desired application rate to it. It will tell us exactly how much material is required to do that site. Then we take that site and we can assign it to specific controllers or all controllers and automate it so that all the operator has to do is pull on the site. The machine then automatically turns on, records everything that machine is doing. Data is then sent back up to the portal where you can report on it. So some of these things that kind of give you a visual representation of what some of the reporting metrics look like. But we can take, for example, if somebody were to slip and fall in a parking lot this size and fell right here, I can search that specific area and tell you exactly everything that happened here. If you're using that Temp Striker optional upgrade to the Strike Smart interface, then it will also tell you what the forecast was that day, what the air temperature, ground temperature, dew point was at the point of where that person actually fell. The nice thing about this is it gives you complete and total operational control. So if you have a 4 cubic yard spreader, for example, and you know before that machine goes how much material is going to be required on all those sites, and the machine is optimizing for you, and it's automating it for you so you get consistent results time over time, well, guess what? Now your equipment's out 60 to 70% longer, always taking the shortest route back to the shop. That's going to correlate to not just obvious salt savings, but we'll know once and for always exactly how much liquid we're using, how much material we're using. We're going to know how long it takes to do the sites and what the average speeds are of those sites. And the combination of the route optimization and fuel savings and labor and overtime, wear and tear, I mean, it adds up very quickly. So with that, I think I'm close to my time here. So I just want to thank everybody for attending this year's conference. We were thrilled to be here. This is the first time attending. I will be out in the lobby. I have a colleague out in the parking lot with a demo piece of equipment. I would encourage you to visit us at the website. So we're here all day if you have any questions or want to see a demo of the technology. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Next, we will have Mark from Henderson. Oop. Did we? Just hit that green button.
Is green button?
Yep.
It's bright up here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to be here. My name is Mark Coe. I'm the Eastern, back up, is that a little better? Eastern Sales Manager for Henderson Products, covering New York and New Jersey. Represent Henderson Products out of Manchester, Iowa. We are a full-service upfit facility and manufacturer for snow and ice control equipment, snow plows, dump bodies, salt spreaders, liquid application systems, etc. We've been around 56 years. We have some sister companies that partner with us to make our product around it. So Western's one of our sister companies, SnowX, Dejana. We're under the Douglas Dynamics umbrella. Very fortunate for us to be under them. They've brought a lot to our company. They've brought a lot to our engineering department. We're here today and we're excited that we have a division dedicated to liquid solutions. So I'm going to point out some of the products we cover today. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Snowplows, dump bodies, that'd be another topic. So if we can get started. So liquid chemical solutions. Oh, actually, this one's better. So out of our products, again, I'm kind of loud. Granular spreaders, we have under tailgate spreaders, replacement tailgate spreaders, V-boxes, combination granular liquid spreaders. The list goes on and we'll go through that. Pre-wet systems, we have systems we can add pre-wet to your existing vehicles without spending much time or expense. And then we have liquid spreaders that do nothing but pure liquid for anti-ice. First picture shows a tailgate spreader, tailgate pre-wet system. This system we can adapt to any conventional dump body, any side dump, any multi-purpose body where you want to add pre-wet to it, and the truck did not come upfit for it. We can add our own control system or tap into the control system on the truck. So this is an entry-level way to start getting into pre-wetting if you haven't done that already. And I'm guessing most everyone in this room, by your attendance, has done something with liquid. Next shows our picture of our V-box. We make these in stainless steel, still some steel now and then, auger or chain drives, and we can put a multitude of liquid application units attached to this. One of our newer products is the Storm Extreme. This is a extremely versatile, high-end product. You can see that with the stand kit. When it's in its largest capacity, we can put over 1,700 gallons of liquid on this. We can put over 8 cubic yards of material. It's a dual auger system, sealed understructure. This will go into existing body or on a hook lift or chassis mount. So this is a large volume quality product to cover your pre-wet, anti-ice, and granular. In the back, we have storage facility for all our controls, so they're protected by stainless steel covers. Keeps those products out of the elements, longer life, easier serviceability when they're not packed in salt. One of the control systems we adapt can give you, and my eyes aren't what they used to be, road temperature, humidity, air temperature, etc. We use LAS systems, so these are liquid application systems for nothing more than straight liquid, so anti-ice before a storm. In this configuration, we've now added, and this is the new picture, this is an all-electric unit. So for those contractors, those towns that do not have a central hydraulic system on the truck already, and that expense could be in excess of $15,000 at some point, this unit is designed to run electrically, 70 gallons per minute flow rate, GPS for ground speed, 3-lane spray bar, variable displacement nozzles. So this is a great retro to a truck you may have that doesn't have a full hydraulic system, and we have a couple of municipalities that have bought used trucks out of the municipal market, so used contractor trucks where this would go in and they can do LAS or liquid application without the expense. These show us the patented nozzles we have. So when the flow stops, they plug off completely. You don't have drippage. They're very accurate. They dial that in well. Our body conversion spreader is outside on a trailer. It's a 2-part system. We've designed this to take a standard dump body, slide this through the back, and make it liquid and granular capable. So we have this out back. If you look, there's 2 parts to this. There is the through the tailgate auger spreader. So some of you are familiar with harder spreaders. They've been around quite a while. This is our version of it. We only use augers, though. We do not use a chain system. So with this, and then the tank will slide it into a dump body from a 10-foot to a 16-foot dump body. You fill the tanks up remotely, and your granular material goes right over top of the tanks. So this picture doesn't depict it well. It shows you wouldn't have much granular capacity because the sides of this dump body are low, and Marketing did that to show the tanks more, but you could put 30-inch sideboards on this or much higher sides, especially in a 14-foot or a 15-foot body application, and put quite a few cubic yardage over top of a truck. And again, a conventional dump body can be a combination unit relatively inexpensively and quickly. And then this unit slides out as a whole, you put your tailgate back on and you go back to regular dumping. Slurry application, and I don't think you've discussed that too much yet, but are we familiar with slurry now? Some? So slurry is an excessive amount of liquid to the granular material. It is in extremely icy conditions. It comes out almost like a Slurpee. Your saturation rate is, I went too far, about 50%, 35%. So to burn ice off in that situation, you would use a slurry system. Now, most of our units have the ability to do pre-wet, anti-ice, and slurry controls from inside the cab. So if we set it up correctly, you can choose what you need to use that day. And as the event goes on during the day, which events change quickly, right? You can change over from one to the other on the fly. This is one of our multi-purpose bodies. So these bodies come with chains or augers into the floor. They come with liquid capability on the outside, and we can hang our liquid tanks off the tailgate for added volume. The red dots show where we can discharge. So depending on your application, if you have hilly areas, if you have flat areas, depending on the width of the road, every red dot shows where we can put a spinner and distribute our material. The brine extreme, we make our own line of brine salt makers. We have one with us today on a trailer. So the Infinity is our premium product. This will do up to 6,500 gallons per hour. The auger you see on the side of it is a automatic clean out. So as we know, when we use salt to make salt brine, there's a fair amount of debris in it, whether it be dirt, soils, blacktop. This will sense that, and it will convey the material out of the bottom itself. So this will continuously operate without you ever having to clean it out. So this could run 24/7 as long as you need it, just by adding salt, and the water is added by itself. We also make this in a trailer mount. The trailer mounts are more for large municipalities that have multiple depots, and or we have come with a bunch of areas where multiple towns have gone in to purchase it together. So as they fill the tanks up in one municipality, they'll take it to the next. So 3-4 towns can displace the cost over one of these units. We have our Brine Advantage. This is our entry-level unit. Again, 6,000 gallons per hour of capacity. Load the salt. The machine uses electricity, obviously, to run the pumps, add the water, and it will do a great job. We have one of those on our trailer tonight. We'll be pleased to show that to you as well. There it is on a trailer mount. Use it the same as the Extreme or as the Infinity to take it to different locations. Our Truck Flex fill station. We have 2 fill stations available. This is the entry-level one. This will allow you to track how much material goes in each unit. It will also let you to blend units. So if you're going to use a magnesium along with your salt brine, this will pull from both tanks, mix it, and fill the trucks up. You can also track how much fluid you're putting into each vehicle. We have municipalities in Michigan that sell their material, so other municipalities will pull up to the depot, have a card like you would in a fuel machine, and unload with the amount of material you want. And then here's our ultimate controls. This is a very elaborate high-end machine. This is for upper Wisconsin, where they're running 50 trucks out of one depot using a tremendous volume of liquid. I know I went through this kind of quick, but I know you guys have been sitting all day too. Are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Mark, thanks, appreciate it. And Mark will be out there as well. Next, I'd like to bring up Kelly Condello with React Blades to give a little talk about them and invite you out to go see them. There you go, the green button.
Okay, got it. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. Kelly Condello with Northern Supply. We manufacture snowplow blades. I'm here to talk to you about our React blade system. I will be quick because we have 2 videos on here that aren't cooperating, so that was kind of most of the presentation, but I'll go through our system with you guys here. So we're a segmented, how do you go back? Thank you. So our system is a segmented blade attachment. So basically, with our system, you can turn any plow into your fleet into a live edge plow. You can take a new plow, an old plow, any model, your Vikings, your Hendersons, your Tenkos, whoever you're used to working with. And with our system, you can get a live edge plow out of it and convert it into a moving edge plow. Our blades consist of usually 11 sections or 1-foot sections. Everything independently moves and interacts with the road to clean the snow most effectively. The nice part is you can replace them individually. So usually when the plow crowns out or the edge crowns out, usually the guys are swapping that out and you're throwing carbide away. So with this system, you can change them independently because the plow will just sit down and the springs will react and sit evenly. So you can change segments one at a time as they wear, so you can just save a lot of money with that way. The blades have 3 springs built into each segment, so they can side bend independently like wheel ruts, and they can go up and down. When the plow sits on the ground, the blades will load, and they'll be able to move up and down with the road surface. It also carries the weight of the plow much better, so it's basically having a suspension built into your plow now, where usually the whole thing's not just sitting on the crown and wearing the crown of the road out. Everything kind of distributes the weight amongst the plow very evenly, which also helps with blade wear. So it evens out the weight, which evens out the blade wear, and it cleans the road more effectively that way. So this is a 1-foot section. This is what they look like. This is easy for guys to handle and maintain. Safety-wise, it's pretty easy just to take these on and off. You're not stripping 11-foot cover blades or handling heavy pieces of steel. So it's just this guy, and you're just maintaining it independently on any of the plows you have. So these are just the components. Mostly everything is reusable besides the cutting edge. When the cutting edge wears out, you're going to change that out. The mounting board is something you put on the plow. It stays on there for the life of the system or as long as you want to use it. The blade case and the bushings are all reusable. You can use those as many times as you want. So you're just going to replace 12-inch carbides as they wear out in the springs. So that's what a 3-footer looks like, and that's what a 1-foot section looks like. So the versatility, you can put them on anything in your fleet, anything that plows snow. We'll just make the mounting board to whatever that plow is, and after that, everything just runs on 1-foot section. So it's easy to have inventory of just one piece of items for your entire fleet, no matter what piece of equipment you have. So this was the video. This was my fault. I embedded it wrong. It shows the blades, how it's moving on. So we do all of our testing on dry roads, so you can actually see it move and interact with the road. So this was a plow going down a street that had big wheel ruts, and you can see how the blades interact with the wheel ruts in slow motion. So you can see what the blade does. Oh, there it is, but I don't think it's going to play though. So we hook up GoPros onto plows, and that's how we do our testing and advancing the blade system that way, and you can see how it works. And here's another one. This is up by Indian Lake of just clearing light snow. So you can see the blade interact and move and clear the snow off the road, which is also not going to play. We make these all in Rochester, New York, so we fabricate locally. And this is our shop where we make everything. So we tweak stuff and try to advance it as much as possible. So thanks for your time.
And I think we'll try to get those videos up on our website, just so everyone's aware. All the presentations as well as the demonstrations will be put up on our website in a short period of time. Next, we have Innovative Surface Solutions, Joe Cashin, who has been a sponsor for us for nearly as long as we've had the summit, and we really appreciate that. So again, a few more presenters and everyone can go across, enjoy the outside because I think it's a nice day. Here you go, Joe.
Perfect.
Green button.
Green button?
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. I think I'm the only person out there who doesn't sell equipment, so, this might be a unique perspective, I guess. I'm not going to really talk to you about any of our products. We have a whole litany of products that we offer. All of them are, or the majority of them are on OGS contract. If you have any specific questions about our liquids that we offer, I've got a table outside with samples of them. We can take a look. But what I really want to focus on for this presentation is tell you a little bit about who Innovative Surface Solutions is as a company, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some tactics that we can use to help reduce the chlorides that are going into the environment. So, Innovative Surface Solutions has been around for 35 years. We have 50 million gallon capacity of liquid storage across the US and Canada. The liquids that we have are used to produce 1.5 million tons of treated salt that go into the environment. We've got 6 liquid terminals. We have about 75 to 80% of our liquids are going in for winter use. So where we are kind of unique is that where most people, when they start getting towards summer or they start getting out of the winter season, they'll move on to another product line to sell. We're focused on winter liquids year-round. So we try to focus a lot on the education about winter liquids and how to use them properly to make sure that we're not putting more than the necessary amount of chloride into the environment. We are the largest distributor of liquid deicers in the Northeast United States. And again, the big thing for us is education. We all sat, or most people sat through the calibration training that was out there, which was great. It was awesome. If you're not calibrating, please do. It's the first logical step when it comes to reducing your chlorides. But these are some methods that we recommend for chloride usage, and they're going to be a little different in terms that we're going to focus on why the liquids are an important component of this. So the methods that we usually promote are calibration. I want to talk a little bit about treated salt. As one of the presenters had mentioned, in Ontario, they're using treated salt with tremendous success in reducing the amount of chlorides that they're putting in. I want to do a little onboard pre-wetting, talk a little bit about enhanced salt brine, because again, I don't sell equipment, so I don't sell salt brine generators. I want to talk to you a little bit about why people, when they get a salt brine generator, they start to enhance it, the performance, and then we'll talk just really briefly about DLA. But calibration, as you all saw, trying to calibrate visually is next to impossible. You want to make sure that you're doing the work. Like I said, I sat through some of the calibration training out there. It was very well done. If you need help with that, there's plenty of resources that you can do, but make sure you are calibrating, because the difference between 500 and 300 pounds can be night and day, and it doesn't even look like that much. And that's a tremendous amount of salt that we don't need to put into the environment. Treated salt is a wonderful option for people when they're looking to get started on liquids, but they want something easy. They want to get buy-in on why they should use liquids. Treated salt, we generally recommend what is called a type 2 treated salt. It has 2 active ingredients, where a type 1 treated salt only has 1. Type 2 treated salts tend to work better. They have what we call an OBPE in them. They're organic-based performance enhancers. They've got a lot of benefits when it comes to increasing your melting capacity, helping to reduce the corrosion of the salt, lower your working temperatures, but they also offer you long-lasting residuals, which are going to make unnecessary applications ideally obsolete. And plus, a lot of them have colorants in them, so you can actually see if you've put salt down on the road. It happens. You get a storm, it's white snow, it's white salt, it's the middle of night, you can't see it. So if you got to choose between having that road freeze up or putting down an extra application, you're going to put down an extra application. Nobody's faulting anybody. I would do the same thing. But when you have that visual component, now you can see, hey, it's blue there. That's probably got some treated salt on it. So most people, and this is just through there's lots of studies that have proven this, but through a lot of our interactions with towns, municipalities, state DOTs, we found that most people, when they implement treated salt, they can generally reduce their salt usage by about 30%. So, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, which we could go into more detail. I could do probably an hour-long presentation on just treated salt, but I don't think anybody wants that right now, so I'm gonna move along for your sake. Also understand that we do have onboard pre-wetting is a great option if you do have those on your existing trucks. Basically what you would do is you would load a premium liquid into the onboard wetting system, and as it was coming out, it would get sprayed. The gentleman from Henderson kind of alluded to that. There are different ways that you can do it with varying concentrations of liquid, varying amounts of liquid. I've seen people use as much as 50 gallons per ton of salt. So there are ways to do it with large quantities of liquid, but again, you're gonna need a very specific piece of equipment to do that. But onboard wetting systems are a great way to get a liquids program implemented, and it can even bump up your liquids program. If you're using treated salt, you can add a little bit more liquid with your pre-wet. Clear Roads, which is an organization for a lot of the state DOTs, they recommend 10 gallons per ton at least on your salt. So to get the performance metrics that they're looking for. So it's very important that if you are going to pre-wet, that you're pre-wetting with the right liquid to make sure that you get increased melting capacity, longevity, and ideally we can dial back our application rates of sodium chloride. We have talked a little bit, and I know a lot of people have talked about salt brine. I know that there's all sorts of marketing campaigns that have gone on about salt brine. One of the limitations of salt brine is that salt in any form is salt in terms of sodium chloride. Whether it's powder, whether it's liquid, whether it's rock, it has the same eutectic temperature, it's got the same effective temperature. It is still prone to blowing off, even if it's on the road. Once it dries, it is now salt powder. It can be blown off the roads. It happens all the time. A lot of government agencies don't use salt brine below 21 degrees. So what a lot of people will do to make sure that they can use that tool in a wider range of temperatures is they'll start to enhance it with another liquid. And what that'll do is it'll help it stay on the road. It's going to lower the freeze point. Now we have some liquids that'll help lower the freeze point depending on how much you put in of the liquid with your salt brine, but it can still make a very cost-effective material. And even at 14 degrees, 100 pounds of enhanced brine has the capacity to melt 69% more than just regular salt brine. Also, with some of our salt brine enhancers, you're going to be able to reach the Clear Road qualified product listing requirement of a 70% reduction in your sodium chloride. So there are some benefits to that as well if you're looking for corrosion protection. You will see most of that corrosion protection, you'll see all of that corrosion protection on your equipment and not necessarily like some of the doctors that were talking earlier in your pipes and stuff like that, but it will be more for your equipment to last longer so you don't have to replace it as much. Direct liquid application, you saw from a couple of the other vendors that a lot of their equipment are capable of that. Direct liquid application breaks the bond with the snow and ice. It makes it so you can get the pavement clear easier. Again, there's going to be segmented plows. You're going to see a lot of different pieces of equipment that can help you accomplish that. But the higher quality liquid that you're putting down, and again, this all comes with the right education, the right training, but the better quality liquid that you're putting down, the longer that's going to last for you, and you're going to have more time to be able to get that snow and ice off the road without having to go back with your plows, scrape, apply more. Our ultimate goal, we're not trying to melt everything, we're bond breakers. That's all we're trying to do. If we can break the bond with the snow and ice and the pavement, then we're going to have a lot more success, and you're going to be much happier with your equipment, with your operations, and you're going to be very happy with us. So that's what our ultimate goal is. But we really do appreciate everybody coming out for the Salt Summit. It's always great to come and support, and as long as they're doing this, you can expect to see us and hopefully my face. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Next, we had from Evolution Edges, Brian Byrne? Brian, oh, there you go. I'm sorry. Surprised me there.
Okay. All right, good afternoon. As he said, my name is Brian Byrne with Evolution Edges. Evolution Edges is a division of Chemung Supply, which is based out of Elmira, New York. I am not from New York, as you may be able to tell, so I may be leaving some R's out of random words in my presentation. Also with me today is Matt Aquino, and I'm going to talk about the Saber blade. Matt is the inventor of that blade. I think the best way to provide an overview of the features of the Saber blade is to talk a little bit about the evolution of snowplow cutting edges. This graphic is a little bit busy, but I've included it so that you guys will have it when you get a copy of this presentation afterwards, and you can go back and get a summary of all the things that I'm about to talk about. But I'll use this graphic for the presentation. Looking at the evolution of cutting edges, plows started with steel blades. The issue with the steel blade is that you basically burn right through it. It goes pretty fast. If you're doing any amount of serious plowing like DOTs and municipalities do and so forth, you'll end up going through steel blades pretty quickly. So the next thing that came out was the carbides, and it's a softer steel that is routed out on the base, And little carbide segments, about an inch long, are brazed in along the bottom. And the great thing about carbide is it wears really long. It's like 20 times, the wear is 20 times longer on a carbide blade than it is a steel blade. But the downside of it is if you hit it hard, it can fracture. And then once the carbide fractures, it can fall out and you're back to a short life of a steel blade. And there's a lot of things that'll fracture a carbide on a road. You have, semi-raised islands, you have manholes, you have catch basins, you have bridge joints, and on it goes. So it's a significant issue. So the next thing that people did was what you see in the third one in from the left is a steel cover plate put on a carbide blade. What this does is it helps protect that carbide from damage, but it's a very difficult blade to change because you have 3 and 4 foot sections of a carbide blade and then an 11-foot steel cover plate if that's what your plow is. So you're handling these things while trying to change your blades, and the other thing that's a disadvantage to it is that you've basically doubled the width of your plow because now you get 2 blades on there and your cutting power is reduced, so you have less cutting ability. So the Sabre was developed to help pull the best of all these things together. And we start with a carbide blade that is the carbide that's in the blade is a 3/4 inch carbide. The carbides that have traditionally in the carbide blades that I've mentioned in the second one from the left is typically a 5/8 carbide that's a trapezoidal configuration set up for like 65 degrees for an attack angle. The Sabre blade is a bullnose carbide that's 3/4 of an inch tall. So you get an additional wear life from that blade. In addition, we have a Hardox steel plate, which is a Hardox 450. It's a very high strength steel, and it's fully welded all the way across the top and underneath to that carbide blade. Now the advantage of that, instead of being a separate carbide and a steel blade that act separately, you have a composite blade that is super strong. And if you come down and take a look at the blade that we have on the table, there's one that was damaged, and you'll see how badly it got bent up. But if you look at the carbides underneath, every one of them's intact. So it's really good at protecting the carbide and extending the life. The other benefit of that is the crenellated design across the front of the Hardox 450 steel. You see how that it's got a castle design? Well, if you notice, the low part of that is lined up with the top of the carbide. So you're able to take a look across the face of your plow and very easily see where you've worn through your carbide. That's a huge benefit if you have a lot of new plow drivers that are trying to figure out how long they should keep a blade on and things like that. That's an excellent gauge to use for determining the life of your plow blade. And then the upper limit is one that you don't want to go past because then you're going to get into your mold board and wreck your plow. The next blade that's shown to the right of the Sabre is the Sabre wing. Now, a wing blade's a little bit different. You're not so concerned about the cutting power, but you are concerned about abrasion across the front of the carbides. Because typically on a wing blade, you're not going to wear out the carbide, you're going to wear out the metal that's in front of the carbide. So the Hardox 450 plate on that one is 3/4 of an inch thick, which gives it a very long life. And in addition, the carbide insert that's in there is 1 inch tall. So that gives a really long life to the wing blade, and that's actually a recommended wing blade if anyone's got a tow plow. And then the next one, or the last one that I'll talk about, is the Sabre VST. VST stands for Vibration Suppression Technology. And it's basically all the benefits of the Sabre, but it's encased in rubber and allows flexibility around where it bolts to the mold board. There's a cover plate that you can see in the picture, and there's a sleeve for the bolt that goes back and fastens against the mold board. So you can tighten this blade right down, and it still allows the blade to flex, which is an important thing. So this comes in 3 and 4 foot lengths, just like a regular carbide, and you can just mount it right on directly on. There's no backing plates, there's no cover plates or anything like that. This is just restating all the things that I've covered, so in the interest of time, I'll skip it. This is a new variation of the VST blade, so instead of the 3 and 4 foot, there is a backing plate that you mount to give you basically more bolt holes. And these are 1 foot sections now, so if you need more flexibility on the road, like you've seen in the previous plow blade example, you can go to the 1 foot VST. And then we also have all kinds of custom blade capabilities. So just stop on out and check it out. Any questions? Okay.
All right, next we were going to invite Sean O'Keefe from Granite State, de-icing supply. I think Sean is just going to give you a good invite to drop by and see him. Sean will also be up on our panel on private property maintenance after, so I don't know if you... Yeah, I don't even know. Okay.
Thanks.
Yep.
Well, lights are bright. Good afternoon. My name's Sean O'Keefe. I own Granite State De-icing Supply. I'm a 35-year veteran of the snow industry that has gotten into liquid de-icing and now liquid de-icing equipment. We're the Northeast region's dealer of the Camion system, liquid de-icing equipment. I have a whole array of equipment outside that you can come check out and we can talk more. Make it short and sweet. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming.
Next, we have our good friend who's been with us since the very beginning. I don't know if I see Rakib in the room. Oh, the lights are bright, I heard. Rakib has been with us since the very beginning and helped guide us, so please welcome Rakib Omir with Viaesys.
Thank you, Chris. So I am Rakib, CEO of Viaesys, and I'd like to take this opportunity to kind of talk about my journey as an entrepreneur and a technology guy in snow, and how that has evolved as I believe this is what, our 9th or 10th year doing what we're doing. So just high level, a little bit about that and how we've essentially evolved as a company to be able to help the growing, ever-changing needs of sustainability around winter maintenance. So this picture is of me and some other people you will see in the room from anywhere between 5 and 9 years ago. The reason why it's relevant is because our needs 9 years ago were very different from our needs 5 years ago, are very different from our needs now. And what I'd really like to show you is our journey in terms of what we've done in order to be able to help everyone in this room be able to achieve what they want to achieve in order to be able to be more sustainable and tackle the various challenges around salt usage. This is the Lake George, Fund for Lake George, now LGA conference room that you see on the right. And this is essentially where everything that you'll see, essentially, this is where all of that started. And every year, we'd essentially meet here and look at the previous winter to essentially see what is it that we want to achieve moving forward, what is it that we did well, what is it that we didn't do well. We'd essentially study salt usage, we'd study weather, we'd study road conditions, and essentially figure out how is it that we want to, what will our next steps be, essentially. And there's a lot that we did over the years, so I'd like to talk a little bit about that, starting with tracking salt. So the unit that you see on the right is what this ended up evolving to be. Essentially started something as simple as a small sensor on the back of a truck that would essentially track what the guys were putting down. And then eventually it's evolved into a system where this unit itself will track your granular, it will track your liquid, it will also track whether the plow is up or down, whether the wing is up or down. It will also track which of your booms, left, center, right, which ones are on, which ones are off. And the best part about it is that it will work with any spreader out there. So that was one of our biggest challenges when we started this, our journey, I'd say, of salt reduction. Equipment was already in place. People were already trained on it. So we couldn't really do anything outside of, just minor investments here and there. So what you see on the screen was our answer to be able to track every pound of salt that is put down anywhere on the road networks without actually having to use new controllers, new spreaders, none of that. So this is all an add-on that can be added. What we've done, I'd say about 3-4 years ago, lately, is that this exact same equipment is now also able to speed up and slow down your conveyor based on how fast or slow you're going, also known as ground speed. And now also we're relying less on the operators. So essentially they just set a target rate and the system kind of takes over, speeds up the conveyor, slows down the conveyor in order to achieve a more even application rate. Again, all this with existing equipment, so you don't need to buy a new spreader, or there are no major investments of any sort to be able to do that. We do have a demo downstairs. Edinburgh's got one, Peru's got one as well, that essentially has this technology. So if you'd like to see how easy it is to be able to use an existing system and start doing a lot of this, we'll be happy to show you that. Thermotrack is also, as we evolved, we saw that there were certain days when the guys were putting a lot more down than other days, but we didn't really know what the reason was for it. So this product was developed solely for us to be able to sort of almost thermal map what the roads were doing on a particular day. Why is it that a higher application rate was applied at certain elevations? Why is it that a lower application rate was applied at other elevations? So this system kind of takes care of that. It's just a unit that you stick on the side of the truck, and it would essentially plot for you and also show you in the cab what the guys are seeing, what the roads were like. As you can see on this map here, there were certain areas that tended to be a little bit colder than the others, mainly due to elevation or other reasons. So essentially, it gives you all the information for you to be able to make good decisions as to what is happening and why it's happening and how do we optimize. This is something very unique. We've had this product for about, in one way, shape, or form for about 8 years now. It is a dash cam that also takes pictures of the road as the drivers are driving. So for us, sitting in an office in front of a desk, trying to sort of recreate an event as to what happened, why did it happen, and how do we optimize it. It was very important to be able to see what the driver was seeing. And for those who operate snowplows, your event memory is it's very limited. So if I would ask you 4 days out after an event, what is it that happened at 2 in the morning on a certain day, there's a high likelihood that you probably won't be able to answer that question. And it was the same with us. So this product here essentially takes pictures of the road as the drivers are driving down the road for us to be able to see how effective a certain plow was, how effective a certain material was in being able to clean the road off better. And then more importantly, the drivers are able to press a button and record messages as so say, for example, if I have to up my application rate because I'm seeing some ice, I'd be able to record that message, and that comes to us. So we're able to see essentially why is it that the driver did what the driver did. This also, of course, works with all your Rexroth, Dickie John, Force America modules. So it'll take all that information and bring it all into the same portal where we're able to analyze all of it in one place. Lastly, we've got, I believe we started this about 8 years ago. So these are weather stations that we would install. So small solar-powered weather stations that we would install on the side of the road. Serves several purposes. So for us, it was mostly about seeing what is it that the roads are like before, during, and after an event. For the operators and the supervisors, it was mostly about being able to make decisions as to whether they should send somebody out or not, especially in an area like this where weather can change, snow can change, a lot of things can change. So this was basically everybody's eyes on the road. The reason why I have this particular picture up is because this is what helped one of the participating counties sort of, I think this is what helped them get more serious about liquids. And it's pictures from a weather station The picture below is essentially a 1 hour period from a weather station that was not pre-treated. And the picture above is a 1 hour period, the exact same time, from a weather station that was looking at a road that was pre-treated. They both got the exact same weather. So just by using this technology, we are now able to see the difference that it makes. How much time does a particular pre-application buy you? How clean is the road surface after you've plowed one versus the other, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, unless you have access to all of this information, it is almost impossible to be able to quantify the benefits or the effects of what you're doing and being able to make a case for it, for example. So from salt usage to pavement conditions to what the operators are seeing to what they're applying, why is it that they're applying, is essentially, that's been my role with this initiative. And every year, we'd collect this information, we'd bring it back, we'd discuss it with the operators, and we'd basically put together a plan on what is it we're gonna do different the next year, and we would go back, look at it again, and I believe this has been the 9th year where we've been doing the exact same thing. I believe, so information is key. Having access to more information, easily available, is what helps us make those decisions. And the best part about all of this is that it is all under one ecosystem. So one report tells you the road conditions, one report tells you the weather on those roads, one report tells you how much material was applied, how much precipitation you got, what was the pavement temperature, et cetera, and you're able to compare those results event after event, year after year, so that there is quantifiable information that can be used to make decisions on what to do and what not to do. So I mean, we've used this information to make better decisions on whether to invest in live edge plows, whether to invest in treated salt, whether to invest in other things, just by looking at the effect, looking at the effectiveness, and then making decisions accordingly. So a lot of this will work with your equipment, whatever you have. And if you'd like to see how easy it is to install and get up and running, we'd be happy to show you. We've got a couple of towns here that have been using this stuff already, so they have it on their trucks, and they volunteered to kind of, instead of me explaining how all of this works, they volunteered to kind of show you around and explain how they've set things up and how well they work for them. So we'd be downstairs if you guys want to take a look at any of this, feel free to drop by. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick story. You saw one of the roadside cameras that actually we used it on one of our projects and had a call by the state police, wanted to know what we were doing, and they proceeded to take it down and call me in and interrogate me, but I got out of it. We're environmentalists, so they were. Next and finally, we have James Hynite from De-icing Depot to give us his presentation. After this, you can proceed across the drive, down the stairs, across the drive for the demo session. So.
Is that why you were nervous when the state trooper pulled up?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is James with De-icing Depot. Thanks for having me. We are a major supplier of salt, importer of salt all along the East Coast. We have our own manufacturing plants that manufacture the bag materials that you see out in front of stores that people sprayed on the sidewalks. And we're also an equipment manufacturer. And I think for the sake of this show, it's probably more important to talk about spraying than it is about us having a lot of salt. We build everything, all aluminum, all in-house, all from hand, from 5 gallons all the way to 5,000 gallons. And everything is custom tailored to all of our customers. So whatever our customers are looking for, that's what we build instead of just having a one-size-fits-all program. The thing that I'm most excited to talk about is this pump. This pump has taken about 3 years to develop. We've certainly had a lot of hiccups, a lot of pumps not working, pumps blowing up, but we learned from our mistakes and kept going. So this pump can completely replace gas operations on a sprayer. So no more Hondas not being able to pull start or turn on anymore because they get salt in the flywheel. So this particular pump, and it can be put on any sprayer from any manufacturer, or even here Lake Luzerne and Lake George where they build their own sprayers. They buy these, slap them on, and they're able to go spray vine. This has the same output as a gas engine, except I can run it with DC power. Okay, these pumps are fully potted, meaning they're submersible. So if they get wet, if they get salt brine all over them, it's no harm, no foul. They're the same horsepower as a Honda. They're 5 horsepower, and they run between 0 and 100 amps, which most of you guys' trucks can push that to these pumps. One of the really cool features about having a pump that's internally cooled and sealed is there's no wet seal in between where the shaft meets the Honda. So if these guys were to accidentally run these dry and they don't have brine, also no harm, no foul. These pair directly with Rakib Systems Viaesys for tracking. So Rakib's consoles are able to run these, speed them up, slow them down, and control them all through his system. And by doing that, it eliminates your flow meter and your regulator. You no longer need to run something at 100% and then move the flow back and forth with a regulator and then determine how much I need to move it by a flow meter. So the two really Achilles heels of a sprayer are your flow meter and your regulator. When they fail, your system fails. So what this seeks to do is to eliminate those two parts and create a more simple system for people to go pre-treat and post-treat with brine. These are now fully patented, and we got them all over the country into Canada, and we're now shipping them internationally for companies to use them on their systems. So that's what I have for you folks. Any questions? That's it. Short and sweet. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now at the demo session. I see that we are at 1:16. Let's reconvene here at 2:20. That gives us time to get over, talk with our sponsors, and we will start a private property demo panel at the next session.